Hey everyone, welcome to the Self Care Summit. My name is Aditi and I am the host of the summit. And I'm also the author of the upcoming book, The Self Care Habit. It just became available for pre order, and there's only 4 days left to grab your copy because I'm giving you a free gift, which is the Self Care Starter Kit. This is going to allow you to jumpstart your journey sooner than later. Most people don't really know what self care really is. We've been shown self care really through marketing channels. So we think it's, spa days and manicures and all those things, but it really goes so much deeper than that. And I talk about it all in my book. So make sure to grab your copy at adithicreative.com/book launch. I'm part of a book contest. So all of your orders are going to help me get noticed by publishers to print my book. We're in the 50s right now, and I'm inching towards making a goal to hit 100 orders. So we only have a few days left. So I would love if you guys would pre-order your copy of the book. And for me to say thank you to you, I'm going to be publishing every single person's name inside the book in the special thanks section. Thank you guys so much for your support, and thank you for being here live. These self-care summits originally came as an intuitive download, and man, it has just exploded into something bigger than I had ever imagined. I'm so glad I listened to that calling. So this week, the topic is shadow work. The first one we did on Monday was really talking about what shadow work is, what the power of shadow work is, and learning more about it. On the next day, we talked all about healing family wounds. And today, we're talking about how to use shadow work to invite love, money, and opportunities into your life. You can get all the event recordings when you sign up and register. You get complimentary access to all of it at adithicreative.com/summit. And again, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, you can also register now to hop on to our Zoom link so you can join us live and connect with the speakers afterwards, where we have a unrecorded and uncensored after party. All right, so let's get started into today's panel. I'm going to bring on all of our wonderful speakers. Hey guys. Yay. So beautiful to see all of you. Some familiar faces from this week and some brand new faces. I'm excited to hear all the powerful conversations today. So beautiful Jasmine here is going to be moderating for us. So Jasmine, I'm passing the mic to you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Aditi, for, first of all, following your dream and passion and just doing this, because I know that it's changing lives every single day. Welcome, guys. Hey, Ben. Hey, Jamad. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Yana. Let's make some things happen. So I am going to dive in, and what we're going to do is introduce ourselves and answer the first question at the same time, guys. You're going to tell a little bit of your story, tell them who you are, what you do, and you're going to ask yourself, how did shadow work invite love, money, and or opportunities into your life when you worked on it? So I'm going to go first, and then I'll kick it off to the next person. Sound like a plan?
Plan.
Yes. So I am Jasmine, also known as the Healing One. I am your favorite health and wealth expert. Been doing this for 20 years, working with men and women to help you thrive in every area of life, combining the spiritual and the mundane to find that perfect balance for yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, energetically, and financially. Now, the quick story of how I used shadow work was love. I was in a really bad car accident when I was 25, 26. I felt like I was in my prime in my 20s. I was a business owner. I was living life. Things were good. I was a fitness trainer and a massage therapist. And I was in a hit and run, and we hit the median wall on a major highway. That changed everything. I thought I was fine. And about 9 months later, I was struggling to get out of the bed. Headaches, migraines, excruciating pain, doctors, specialists. And at 27, they told me that the muscle spasms in my neck, throat, and back were so strong that eventually it would snap my neck and potentially kill me. So I was able to use shadow work to really forgive myself, forgive the person that had hit me, to grieve the person that I had been, because I had a lot of anger, I had a lot of rage, I had a lot of sadness, a lot of what if, what shoulda, coulda, woulda been. And so I dove into shadow work for that love component, to fall back in love with myself and to also get to the point where I could receive love from others again. And here I am. I ain't gonna tell y'all how many years later, but here I am thriving again. And so that's the story of how I first started using shadow work quite a while ago, at least over a decade ago, and I'm still using it today. So I'm gonna kick it to Lauren. And again, if you could tell us who you are, what you do, and how did you use shadow work to invite either love, money, or opportunities for yourself?
Hello, thank you. So nice to meet everybody on this panel. Hello, Aditi. So great to see you. Thank you for having this. Congratulations on your book. And you guys, I got it. I hope you guys got your copy as well. I can't wait. Okay, so I'm Lauren Ciesco, and I am a sales expert, and I'm also an emotional coding expert, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But really what I do is I help people make money. So my thing is all about the money, and I have a whole saying where the more you cry, the more money you make. And you do that by the releasing emotional coding and doing the shadow work, right? So that's really my specialty. And even deeper than that, what I help people do is I help people monetize their gifts. I help people understand how to package it, how to sell it, how to show up, how to talk about it, and how to make money to just being yourself without overcomplicating it and trying to do what all those people say that don't work, right? So that's my specialty. And it's through being an expert in sales and really an expert in what I call emotional coding work. So self-sabotage. Now, I don't actually use the word, I might be a little black sheep here in this group, but I don't use the word shadow work. I call it emotional coding. And basically it's the thing, it's that, you know, when we're growing up and something happens to us and we're not taught to feel our emotions and they get stuck in us. And then, so example, when I was younger, I wore a black bathing suit and my mom was like, hey, you look like a beach whale. And since then I had like a thing with my body because I was embarrassed and a bunch of friends, right? That's emotional coding. I help people go in there and around money and about worth. And there's so much emotions that are attached to money and stories. And you guys, on my entrepreneur journey, at one point I was so broke, I had to sell vintage fur coats so that I could pay for Uber ride and food to go see my mentor that was going to teach me how to make money, right? At one point in my journey, I was so broke. I moved home 2018, quit my corporate job. It was like the beginning. I was like, I'm going to make 100K my first year. Watch me. End of 2018. Broke, depressed, and moved home with my parents, okay? So I know what it's like to go from this rock bottom and learning how to do the actual work, right? Do the emotional work with releasing it so that money is no big deal, that money feels like water so that it can flow to you, so you can, right? It's like this energy around it, and how you get there is releasing the emotions, because it's the emotions that are stuck around it. And that's what I do with entrepreneurs, where I help clear all the emotions around when they're talking about money and asking for money so that it can just be really beautiful. And now, because of this work, I literally am living my dream life. I'm like getting shaking right now because it's like, I can't believe I'm in this. I used to be that person driving to work in my car, listening to the podcast, wanting to have a podcast, teaching people. And now that's me. I have a podcast. I teach people this. I'm living my dream. I'm about to sell my shit and literally be a digital nomad and travel the world and like have 4 team members helping me. And like, it's just next level. And what I've learned is how to make money. And when you learn that power inside of you of how to make money through clearing everything, you are literally unstoppable. It's a skill that you can learn and you can always help. And it's through your gifts and it's through who you are, and it's all inside of you. And that's what I do. And that's what I'm here.
Beautiful, beautiful, Lauren. I'm going to kick it to you, Jamad. The question is introducing yourself. What do you do? How do you do it? And how did you do shadow work to invite love, money, and or opportunities?
So I was just here moderating on Monday. If y'all remember me, I'm Jamad. I just changed out my outfit a little bit, yeah. So I said all that to say this. I'm Jamad, your favorite mystic, oracle, soul therapist. I do all those things. And shadow work has been so important for all those things. And I kind of agree with Lauren. I don't really call it shadow work that much because it can kind of feel like it's a kind of thing. But I feel like it's earth work, it's alchemy, it's karmic work. It's really trying to better yourself, heal yourself from the ground up. So it's one of those things where for me, when it came to my favorite time using shadow work, earth work, whatever we want to call it, magic, because I'm a wizard, really. Uh, I met Marianne Williamson. And like I was really, really down. Like I was so down to where I'm like, I'm supposed to be this healer. I'm supposed to be out here changing people's lives. Where is my money? Where's my stuff? Esther Hicks, you've been lying to me. You know, so I'm sitting here like something gotta give. And once I had to figure out that something that had to give was me, then I'm like, okay, Jamad, you're the block. You're causing these blocks. What we finna do? What's gonna happen? So then I had to talk to, you know, various friends, Sweat Ayer, other gurus that I know personally that, you know, work in some of this too. And then I had to go to some family shadow work, some things that I learned growing up. So I utilized all of these tools to find myself. Then the next thing you know, my friend was like, hey, I'm gonna get you a new phone. I'm like, oh, I can take nice pictures. And I'm like, and then I had another friend like saying, hey, you need to go see Marianne Williamson with me. And I'm like, okay, I'm in Arkansas. Where's Marianne Williamson? She's going to be in Oklahoma City. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm going to have to drive to Oklahoma. And da, 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 da. So the tickets were sold out. So I'm sitting here like, I'm still going to see Marianne, you know, because I need a breakthrough. Something got to happen. And I'm like, oh my God. Long story short, because I can be long winded. I went through a space and time where I was really working heavy on myself because I'm sitting here, what's the point of going if I'm not going to talk to Marianne Williamson? And then I'm like, okay, I am going to talk to Marianne Williamson. I'm going to ask her a question. I'm going to do this. I'm going to see that woman. So, but then I'm ending up getting a free ticket. So I'm in a side room watching a monitor instead of being in an auditorium where she's at. And then some lady was just like, she just walked in the auditorium. She was like, y'all, there are plenty of seats in there. We're just gonna walk in there. We're just gonna go and just sit in there. And I was like, okay, so now I get to see Marianne for free. So long story short, she had talked forever. You know, she's very amazing. She's an amazing speaker. So then she had only so much time for questions. So now I'm like, okay, please, God, please, can I just ask Marianne this question? Long story short, something just sparked to her. She's like, if I don't talk to anybody, I'm talking to that man next. And everybody turned around looking at me at the tippy top of the auditorium. Long story short, Marianne Williamson came. I got to ask my question, which was, Marianne, when you were doing work with small groups and small people in the beginning, what kept you going? And she said it was the inner teacher. And that's all I really needed to hear. So long story short, the shadow work will present you with the people you want to meet, the places you want to see, and the joy you want to have. And then my friend recorded me talking to Marianne. So I have that memory forever. That advice she gave me, I will never forget because I can play it over. I can play it for you if you want to watch it. Anyway, that's me. Shadow work, great stuff.
That was amazing. Such a powerful story. I am going to kick it to you, Yana. Next, tell us who you are, what you got going on. How do you do it? And how did you use shadow work to invite love, money, or opportunities for yourself?
Wow, with Lauren and Jamad opening up, I'm over here listening to Marianne Williams' story, like tears in my eyes. And just the idea, I went to a speech with Marianne Williamson as well. It's so ironic. And I was like, gosh, I want to meet her. I want to meet her. Happened to go to the bathroom right after the speech. And the way that they were channeling her out was like, and literally me and her, and she was like, can I go to the restroom? And we were like right there, like at the same time, and like literally in line at the bathroom, like, oh, wow, you're right here, right? And it's such an amazing experience. But I just wanted to honor your story there. My name is Yana. I am a life coach, and it's a fun title, but I really want to say in a way, I think I'm a healer of sorts. And I don't know exactly where. I haven't pinpointed my finger on that yet, but the life coaching category has attracted me to so many incredible people. And this is really the work that I do. We go into the shadow. A lot of emotional integration, inner child healing work through beautiful meditative processes. And one of my biggest goals is really to make what I like to say shadow work as popular as a bottle of Coca-Cola, marketable, drinkable, as available in the whole world, something that we all reach for on the shelves. And I think that one of the ways of doing that is really through this idea, right? How does shadow work get you love, money? And what I really want to focus on is this idea of opportunities, because I think opportunities is the gateway between breaking out of the shadow to getting you to that money and to that love. As if you can jump into that door and open up that new door that might be a little bit scary, the whole world opens up to you. And that's really the crux of that shadow work, is what opportunities am I kind of turning away from, and how can I embody them? So a personal story for me is I've had a bucket list road trip across America on my bucket list for probably a couple of years now. And the opportunity has kind of been opening up to me. I had a friend that's flying into Denver. I live in Georgia, and it was kind of unfolding. We were going to do a mini little trip. I was going to fly into Denver. And I don't know if y'all know, but if anyone's looked at rental car prices recently, it is like what happened in 33 days for $33 a day for Enterprise car, right? I'm trying to rent a car for like a month to go all over the US and stuff. I was looking at the prices, and it would just make the trip like ridiculous. My car, I don't really want to take for that much. And I have been in my own life finding myself in my family dynamic, always being like the victim, the black sheep. I don't want to go, but it's a story that I've been really getting into the shadow on and working in with myself, and realizing that's not a family thing. I need to just take a little more personal responsibility. And what we went through on Monday, and right, I'm sure what the discussions were about yesterday, but digging into that family shadow. And instead of it, going there for this road trip, I'm laying out, I'm going to do it this way, I'm doing it this way, I'm figuring out all the details. And one night I was just sitting around speaking to my family, just telling them about some of my details, my plans, my travels. This was about 2-3 weeks ago, and it was still kind of, and all of a sudden my younger sister, who usually is fairly like, she's got her things and she likes her things. And so she has the perfect car for a road trip like this. It's an older Camry, but it's new enough to make it, and yada, 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 yada. And all of a sudden in the middle of dinner, she pipes up out of nowhere and she's like, why don't you take my car? And it cleared up everything. And this morning, actually, and this is why this resonates with me so much, to kind of bring the first day and the second day together, I was speaking to my mom, and she was like, I know how your sister is. Sometimes she'll give you something, and then 2 days later, she'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe that. Why did I do right? And starts making it. She's like, I wanted to warn her. And I was like, you understand, you're giving your sister your car. Y'all are trading cars for 6 weeks. If anything happens, blah, 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 other side of America. She's like, you can't be like, I give this to you, now I take it back. And my sister said, Mom, I realized that this means so much to Yana, and it's such a bucket list experience for her. And it's such an incredible opportunity. I know it's probably going to be tough and there'll be days, but I'm willing to put up with what I'll put up with in order to do that for her. And it was one of those things where my mom kind of told me that on the back end, and my heart just melted. And it was all those times where I'm like, they always pay attention to my sister and not me. She gets all the stuff and not me. Because I've been working on that and not being the victim, and hey, let me just work on my road trip. I'm doing me. I'm going to be the responsible party. All of a sudden, my family's like, how can we help? How can we contribute? We won't question, right? And so the land of opportunities is opening up to me for this. So yeah, I'm so excited about that, and just kind of bringing that into the conversation, maybe to open up for later panel discussions. How does opportunity present us with love and money in the end, right? So that's me. Thank you so much, and I'll pass it on to Ben.
What's up? This is for everybody here. And as that fades out, let everybody raise the roof. Here we go. Oh, this is amazing. I think my name's Ben Patwa, and what I do is I help people reach millions with their message. I do that through a number of different mediums. Some are kind of on the outside, whether it's marketing, growth strategy, business strategy. You'll hear a little bit more about my message if it comes up organically, my story. And also on the inside, ultimately, we can only grow in the outer world, in our business, in our love, our relationships. Everyone do this. That's right. Here we go. Yep. In our money, John's with me on that one, is based on how we can grow on the inside. To me, there's this yin yang. I grew up with a lot of Eastern arts, grew up with Chinese martial arts, so a lot of philosophy that way. And then I'm from an interracial, interreligious, international, interlinguistic family. who are very different. And that brought shadow work for me a lot, because to me, the shadow ultimately is the part of myself that I don't believe is myself, or I think is something else or someone else, or that I don't want to accept for myself. And so here I was with an African father and a British mother who, you know, the way they communicated, the way they liked different things brought up a lot of stuff for me and for our family. So I watched that a lot. Fast forward to me wanting, now, unless you've seen me speak on stage before, you know what I mean? You would probably be like, wait, basketball is your sport? You know, so I'm like 5'7". And so I got told all the time since the age of 12, I could never do what I wanted to do. You should think of a backup plan. You know, you really think you're going to make it to the NBA, blah, 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 blah. Even from people who I thought should be the ones supporting me, saying, go for your dreams. You can do it no matter what. I got to play internationally for my country and play around the world. I dragged that story out when I'm on stage, but ultimately won a gold medal playing in a junior world championship. Yeah, we went off and I played back then like Steph Curry plays now, but back then we used to get benched if we took fast break 3-pointers and stuff. And within a year and a half of that, which is, you know, probably the peak of my career, I ended up in a hospital bed. And before I was really 19 as an adult, both my kidneys failed inside of me. My left kidney filled up with fluid, and they went in with a camera and said it exploded like a balloon blowing up. And they had to puncture my right kidney and drain it. So here I am, 18 years old in a hospital bed, facing, you know, who I was or who I am, which is superstar athlete. I mean, the worst injury was I sprained my ankle before, to now being faced with, if I'm not that, then who am I now? So there's a lot of people who are probably listening to this. And if you have specific questions, please dump them in. All of us want to hear and customize what we're going to say to help you the most. And I think a lot of reinvention, a lot of facing, well, if I didn't make it in my first year, I think Lauren was saying that if I didn't make my goal of 6 figures in the first year, then who am I? Because somebody else did. If I didn't make it, you know, to the stage, or if this other person didn't see these qualities in me, then what does that mean about me? And I said it yesterday on the call on this summit, is that humans are meaning-making machines. So we make meaning out of things, even if it's not the right meaning, because we're searching for that. And whatever we make a meaning, we create a little label, like a box around us. So for me, shadow work was about unraveling those boxes. And that's as short and sweet as I'll make it. Feel free to ask questions and I'll share more about that. But everybody, again, give yourself a round of applause for being here on the summit. This is it.
I was going to say,
I'm going to pass it like a basketball.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Aditi.
Ben, that's a perfect segue. I want to tag in Jamad and
Okay.
ask this question. How does shadow work teach us about ourselves? I think you segued perfectly into that, Ben. So I want to ask your thoughts on that now, Jamad.
I like how Ben put it, is like removing all these labels, because at some point when you start learning about spirituality, they start telling you this real petty thing you don't want to hear. It's very annoying. It's like, they be like, just be. And you be like, be what? No, just be. If you can just be, you'll have, you know, eternal peace, enlightenment, just be. And I'm just like, I'm being a lot of things all the time. It's so much running on up in here. I could be anything. You know, I could be an astronaut just about, you know. I am somewhere between genius and, you know, Joker, you know. So it's like, I can be a lot, but it's one of those things that in the search of what they're trying to say, because we add meaning. So like a Ben made some good points. I want y'all to remember what the man said. But in just that search of trying to find meaning of what it was to be me, I had to start asking some real hard questions and start challenging myself and asking myself why I did certain things. Like, there was a lot of ways I was responding to people in my relationships that were kicking their ass. So I wasn't going to be with anybody. You know, there was a certain way I was doing business that was kicking my ass, that was preventing me from being successful. And it was these things I had to sit and reflect on. You know, I had to sit with some great, powerful people and reflect on these things sometime too, because sometimes we're just operating from our family standpoint. Sometimes we're just operating from a fear standpoint. Sometimes we could be operating from a past life standpoint. Like Sweta Ayel, she gave me a reading one time, and it was a serious past life that was connected to this life that was really preventing me from being well in business, because the man in that past life had so much success, but he lost his family. He lost the people he loved. And that had put such a block on me where I'm like, I have to give everything to people I care about. I got to give everything to people I love. And I'm missing out on shit for myself all the time. And I'm like, where is my stuff? And where are these people? Right. So it took a lot of work to get here. Okay. I look good. I feel good, but that's because I took the time to get off all these labels, get off all these ideas from other people, these traditions, these religions, these ideas and opinions, just to find myself and finally just fucking be. Use my language. Okay, but just be without nation, just be. Okay, and then you'll be able to reflect and see why you're doing what you're doing. And then be like, okay, this works this way, but it don't work that way. And this works for me, but it don't work for them. Okay. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that.
First of all, I am here for all of that, because sometimes you got to say fuck everything, fuck everybody, fuck all of that, and just get back to yourself and let your voice be the loudest voice. So okay. I wanted to throw another question in the mix, and you guys, let's keep it going. But I wanted to throw this question in, Yana, to you, because you specifically talked about this in the beginning. What are some tips to invite more challenges and opportunities in the shadow work process? Because the challenge doesn't always mean it's a bad thing, right? It's an opportunity for growth, beautifulness, blessings. So weigh in on that for us, please.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the first things is I always ask myself when things get really tough, and obviously sometimes I'm not talking about really, really, really tough. Like if you're grieving, if there's a serious loss, if there's times where we're not questioning anything, we're just grieving. So let's backtrack on that. But someone rear ends me, someone steals a bunch of money from me, my family leaves me out of an event that I wanted to go to, blah, 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 and I'm feeling hurt. In those instances, when I can grasp it, my number one redirect, when I catch myself getting into that shame, blame, oh my gosh, first of all, whenever you notice yourself saying, this shouldn't have happened, this shouldn't be this way, they shouldn't have acted like this, and we're outsourcing responsibility to shoulda, coulda, woulda, that's when you're going to feel defeated. It's automatically going to make you feel hopeless. You have no ability to interact, no ability to add, no ability. It's all on them, right? And if it's all on them, then I'm obviously the victim. So the first thing that I always ask is, how is this working out for me? What in this is working out for me? Where is there something in here that if I truly listen, if I tap in, if I dig in, if I don't outsource the responsibility, but I take accountability and I see the circumstance, whatever it may be, I got rear-ended, the car is no longer here, I now have to ride public transportation to get 22 miles. All of it seems horrible. How is that working out for me? And somewhere in there, there's going to be some kind of lesson, some kind of depth about where your shadow is leading you to. This happened, and therefore it was like a universal mirror reflection. I am you, you are me. Look up. This is your next stage of evolution. This is your next stage of growth. And if you can find out how waking up 4 hours earlier to get to the bus stop until you can figure out how to get to a new car, to ride the public, whatever the situation may be, how that is working out for you rather than against you, you have opened up that door of opportunities, and you will see that all of your thoughts start realigning into, instead of being deflated, how dare, right? Exactly what you were saying. You got in a car wreck, and then, oh my gosh, all this is happening 9 months later. But if you would have stayed in, this is a condition I have, it's inevitable, that's it, I'm cursed, you would never be able to get yourself out and become the person that you are, the healer, the teacher, the influencer that you are, helping others get through this. So that is when it happens to you and it sucks. I know I'm sorry. I feel you. I want to hold space for you. And if it's really, really deep, then you don't have to do anything, right? Watch day one, just breathe, call out for help. But if it's that place where you're like, oh, shoulda, coulda, woulda, gosh, I wish that went different. Right here. This is who shoulda, coulda, woulda. What are you gonna do differently? Yeah. So I'll leave that there.
That was an amazing, first of all, let me restate what you said. Where am I pushing responsibility outside of myself? Hell yes. And then I want to kick it to Lauren. And Lauren, I want to ask you this question. What are some tips to using shadow work, or as you called it, emotional coding? Because I want to make sure I got that right. Awesome. Emotional coding to heal money wounds. Tell us about that, because I know that's part of your expertise. You're still muted. You're still muted.
Okay. Hello. Yes, yes. So first off, I'm just gonna say, for anybody who is an entrepreneur and you're looking at your current financial situation, you're like, how is this possible? How am I gonna make money? Like, I promise things can change so drastically. And like I said before, I had shared, I had been at, and just a reference, last May, I made $2,990 in my business, and I made 49,000 something, whatever, whatnot, right? In like a year. So it is so possible. And here's what I want you guys all to know, right? Because you guys are like, how did you do that? How did you do that? I want to know the how. I want to know the how. And the thing is, no one freaking knows the how. The how is by who you're being, back to what we're talking about, right? And so here's the thing, when you can get really good at making money for who you're being and not when you're doing, that's when people are sitting back and making money and making millions, not by efforting. And you're like, how are they doing it? And it's because it's a state of being, because it is a blueprint in you. It's an emotional blueprint. Money is energy. Emotions is energy. Everything is energy. And so when we are able to completely change and shift the energy, and here's the thing, what keeps us stuck in our money beliefs of what feels hard is the stories, right? And the labels and all of the identity around it. And what makes a label and what makes an identity feel real is an emotion attached to it. Right? That's it. Just the emotion. So when you can go in and crumble that emotion, then it no longer feels believable and you're able to shift to something what it is. So it's what you can wrap your energy around, and it's what you know. And what I say is that believing is not enough. You guys, we can smoke copium all day long, doing our thought work, doing our mental mindset work, trying to do that. But if you're not going in and doing the deep work and shifting and removing it, then you're just spinning out without getting to it. And that's really what I learned, right? Where I hired a well-known coach making millions and millions of dollars, who was like, if you pay me $25,000, I'm going to help you make $100,000. And she gave me the how, and I plugged myself into the box. But you know what? That didn't work. That's not how it works. We're just crossing off the boxes because we think we should. But really how it works is the connection to the why, and that you're all in alignment, and that you're in a belief, and you can actually make money just by being. There's actually no efforting. The thing that limits us is that we actually don't believe that we're deserving of the money without the efforting, which is just a belief, because the belief is attached to the emotion. So once again, it's always going back to the emotional work. All of this can crumble when you learn how to go to the emotion and shift it. And that's really what this work is about, and what I did in my business, and what I help my clients do is, now I feel like I can turn clients on and off, because it's just a decision. It's just an emotion. There's not any doing. I just get to show up. My actions in my business do not equal money and do not equal clients. It's who I'm being. So that, I hope that
That was amazing. First of all, can I just say, I freaking love you, because I wanted to jump in with you on that money thing, because I get asked all the time. I deal a lot with manifesting, which I feel like is tied into emotional coding or shadow work or anything that you're doing in the healing journey. You're always creating, you're always making things happen, right? And so I get asked all the time, how do I just make money happen? And that's it. I literally got to a point where, going back to what Jamad said and what you were saying, I sat in my own self And I said, I'm just going to be, because I used to get pissed too. Like, what the hell does it mean to just be? What does that mean? Tell me somebody. And finally, I got quiet enough with spirit to figure out what did being mean for me, because it wasn't about what anybody else said, right? And when I sat down in myself and I faced myself, I don't really use the term shadow work all the time. I say I faced my darkness, because there's always light, there's always darkness, there's always an opposite. And I embraced it. I chose to realize that it wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't scary. It wasn't evil, it wasn't horrible. It was beautiful. My darkness was just as beautiful and as powerful as my light, right? And I rebounded from no money after the car accident, putting my business down, not doing anything, and literally jumped up and got back to $5,000 months and $10,000 months and $15,000 months and $20,000 months, etc. Because I said, I'm going to do this in a way that feels good. And if it doesn't feel good, I'm not going to choose to do it. And if I don't feel good working with that person, I'm not going to choose to do it. And if I don't feel good talking about that thing. So I literally check in with my emotions. That's why I loved when you said you called it emotional coding, because I literally check in with my emotions. I check in and I say, how does that feel in my chest? How does that feel in my stomach? How does it feel, in my neck, in my back? Am I feeling some discomfort or some pain somewhere? And if I'm feeling discomfort, I dig deeper. What is that leading me to? What do I need to know from that? What do I need to understand? And I keep asking questions. And so one of the ways that I was able to use shadow work for money was I started feeling my way through it. Literally checking in, because in spirituality, we do the rituals, we do the ancestral work, the angelic work, we do all the breathing and, all the things, but my background is counseling, right? So I'm all about emotions. How do you feel? How does it make you feel? When I merged the two of them, that's when money started to flow. And so what I want to ask the participants before I kick it off to somebody else, I want you to ask yourself, guys, for your shadow work and money, when money has gotten tight, or you felt like you were in a lot of lack, or things dried up, or just were, dealing with a lot of struggles, how are you feeling in those moments? How did your body feel in those moments? Versus when you got that gift that you really wanted and somebody bought it for you, or you got that blessing, or you got that unexpected raise or promotion, or that new $5,000 client, or that new position that you wanted at this company, or that new car or the house, whatever the thing, the vacation or sleeping in late, whatever the thing is that made you feel good and prosperous and wealthy. How are you feeling in that moment? And if you can start to notice the differences in how you're feeling in those moments, that's your creation. That's literally how you create. So if you can start seeing what doesn't feel good in the moments that it doesn't work, and what feels good in the moments that it does, that's your wisdom on how to start using your shadow work or your emotional coding to start creating the wealth and the money that you actually want in your life. So I wanted to kick it to you, Aditi, and ask you this question. How does shadow work teach us about ourselves? Because we've all kind of touched on that, but I really wanted to hear from you on this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a great question, because one thing I wanted to talk about is like how shadow work has really helped me receive opportunities that were already on their way to me. I believe the universe is always sending us opportunities, but sometimes we're not able to receive them because we don't feel good enough. We don't feel like we have the time or the space or the capacity. We don't think we're ready, right? How many times have we said, oh, I'll do that thing when I'm ready. I'm not ready yet. I need to get this in place. But you know what? The universe knows when you are ready. So oftentimes you'll get opportunities before you realize that you were ready for it. And that's happened to me so many times. And what I've used shadow work for is to help me not lose that opportunity that just came my way. So I just became a speaker officially last year, and I had an opportunity that came up out of nowhere. I did pray for help from God, because I was like, look, I know you want me to speak, but I don't know what I'm doing. So you need to send me something. And literally I got a text message from a contact, and I got invited to speak at $1 billion company. And this was my first speaking engagement. Okay. I was ready to do a little Rotary Club, like little 2 people gathering speech. Universe was putting me on a much bigger stage. And I was like, oh, okay, that's what I didn't think I was ready for it, but apparently the universe did. And people tuned in from all over, from Spain, from UK, from all over the world. And I did not feel ready for it at all. For like at least 3 months, I vomited and was like so sick every week because I was so nervous. So I feel like this work has really helped me work with my imposter syndrome. Where do I not feel good enough? Why do I not feel good enough? A lot of my speaker stuff was a struggle for me because I have struggled with weight for many years in my life. And I've gotten a lot of horrible comments from it. I've gotten bullied. I've gotten, all this stuff relating to my weight. So I didn't want to be seen. I was like, look, universe, can I just stick to being a writer? I don't want to be in front of people. But no, that's where the universe was pulling me forward to. And I'm just so glad because I feel like becoming a speaker has healed so many parts of me that I didn't even realize needed healing. And let me tell you, I showed up to that event and I rocked it. I got so much positive feedback. And if I didn't do this work to really get to know myself deeper, like where am I feeling blocked? Where am I not feeling good enough? Why do I think I can't deliver? Clearly the universe thinks I'm ready. So where's the gap here? Why do I not think I'm ready? So I feel like this work can really help you understand where you are, where you want to go, and where the universe is ready to put you in. And, I've heard from the astrology Cosmo reports that this year, if you don't take the leap that your intuition is pushing you towards, the universe is just going to push you off a cliff. So ready or not, here we come. You know what I mean? And a lot of you may have already been experiencing that, right? Like, oh my gosh, like I've been wanting to quit this job for a while, but I'm not ready. Oh, you got fired. Out you go. Now you got to deal with it. So really like being able to use this work to just go within to be like, and a book I'll suggest is The Big Leap. That one is so helpful by Gary Hendricks to help you really work through those kind of like parts of you that doesn't feel enough, that feels like I'm not ready for this and etc. So that's what I'll say about how it has helped me really step into my role as a speaker. So whatever you're being called into doing, how can this work help you really do the things that you're feeling called to do already, but you're just scared? And I'm done speaking, as they say on Clubhouse.
I was going to kick it back to you, Ben. Can you tell us how to use shadow work to heal love or emotional wounds? Because we talked about money a little bit more and, overall, but how do we tie it in specifically to healing those emotional wounds, those love wounds?
Sure. Our shadow, as what I was talking about when we kicked off, was this box that we have where we're in it or we're out of it. And real quick, let me just use some technology here. Essentially, if I cover Carl Jung's shadow, is that cool? Everybody, this might have come up on day one, which I was in an airplane, so I didn't see. So Carl Jung, effectively, here's the sun, right? And that's ultimately our higher self because it makes everything work. And then here we are, however fly we look in, and this is who I say I am. So this is the ego. This is myself. And on the floor is cast this shadow of who I am, but that's not me, right? Come on, everyone at home. That's not me, right? No, that's not me. So this is my shadow. So ultimately, everything over here is who I think I'm not. And who this is who I think I am. But Carl Jung was like, well, actually, here's the sun, my higher self. I'm projecting the shadow. It's part of me. So when it comes to love or money or opportunities or anything else, if anyone wants to ask us any questions in the chat box, it's ultimately that these things fall into either a category. So if you want to do something at home practically, take out a piece of paper, write down, all the things that you would say are messages about who you are, who I am. And it might be, I'm generous, I'm sexy, I'm cool, I got style, I'm a lover. Maybe it's, I'm important, whatever it might be. Then all the things who you think you're not. And what often happens with this, and if this is a bit small, right? Who I think I'm not, this gets projected out onto our partners. And so the purpose of the shadow in one field, and so, take it as everyone else is going to have different perspectives on this, is that effectively our journey is to meet ourselves and accept. Yep, when we can accept the part of ourselves that we would probably feel sick if it were true. So that's a question I ask in deep coaching is, what is something that if it were true about you would make you sick, or you really hope isn't true about yourself? And someone would be like, that I'm selfish. Okay, so then we might hear from people who say, I don't want to sell my product heavily, so I do this soft close thing, which is like, if you want to give me a donation, or if you kind of want to, maybe come to the party. And I'm like, if you had a party, what would you do? You wouldn't be like, hey, y'all, yeah, I'm just going to set up my party, secretly wanting them to come. No, you create invitations. You have something like a background like Jamad has on his with all, please come to my party. It's going to be lit. Wear your earrings like Lauren, which I don't have anything like that. Get your hair done like everybody else. But I did my hair this morning. I got the best hairdresser. You know what I mean? So effectively, the shadow is, who am I not? And when it comes to love, oftentimes these wounds might come in. Let's say we have a parent who's a certain way. And so what do we say to ourselves? I'm not like that person. I'm never going to be like that person. I'm always going to be with someone else. So if there's a female or a male, oftentimes this is where a family dynamic comes in, and they were not all about money. Yep. As a parent was like, not about money. It was about love, fun times. And then a child might be like, man, I'm so ambitious. I'm going to make money. Then what happens? Their child might be like, I wish I just had time to spend with mom or dad, and they're giving me $50 or $100. Go to the mall, buy yourself something. Like, I don't care about money. I just want love or time or quality time. So shadow work is even deeper. To me, it's about going deeper than what our feelings are, what I like and what I don't like, because whatever feels good or doesn't feel good is sitting on top of the real shadow. Let me get
That was a great explanation. Lauren, I know you wanted to tie into that because you've got to run. So could you tell us about how to reach you and leave us with a closing statement before you leave us? You're still muted.
Yeah, perfect. First off, oh my gosh, like so much in this summit, I'm like shaking my head. I'm like, yep, we're speaking the same language. Like everybody, a panelist up here, like I'm blowing my mind. Like, and I'm also like, we can have a 10-hour conversation about this. Like, let's continue. I unfortunately have to leave, but thank you for all of the panelists. Really fast, if you guys want to learn more about emotional coding, and when I talk about like the more I cry, the more money I make, I actually have a podcast called the Spiritual Boss Shit Podcast. We literally just did a 3-part series where I really break down behind the scenes of like how to release emotional coding. And we gave a behind the scenes of how me and my business partner made $24,000 in 24 hours. So exactly how we do it. So if you want to find it, go listen to those podcast episodes. I have some courses, I have some programs, but you can just find me all through the podcast. And then my place to find me is Instagram. I'm in my stories. I share behind the scenes. You see me coming on crying and sharing my money stories. If you want behind the scenes, like that's where I hang out. It's Instagram, and it's just at Lauren Ciesco is where you can find me there. And then
tell them what you're currently about to do with your move.
Oh yeah. So I'm about to actually sell all my things, and I'm moving to Mexico. I have 2 other coach friends, and we're getting like a little house, and we're going to create like a little retreat. And I don't know where I'm going after 30 days, but we're like traveling the world. And yeah, it's just been super fun and meeting people, and I'm creating programs and like coaching on the road. And yeah, so we'll see. I'm just like being free. I can't wait. Like, and really what this is that my inner voice, I help people talk to their inner guidance. And my inner guidance is like, you need to go on the road because you need to be uncomfortable, because there's things that need to come up that you need to heal. And so that's really what's bringing me on the road, is that I've been uncomfortable in my little nest during COVID. And there's something that's telling me that if I move, that it's just everything's just going to shake up and be even more. So don't be afraid of listening to those inklings and going after the shadows.
Yay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Watch her stories on behind the scenes. I've been enjoying it so much. She shares her packing. She's like selling her car. She's selling everything. Like it's so fun to watch. So check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Aditi,
Thank
for
you,
having me on,
Aditi.
and for everybody. I'm sad I'm missing the after, but hopefully I'll see you guys again somewhere. So
We'll
sending
connect
so much
again.
love to everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I will jump in real quick and do my closing of what I want to hear when I was going through some shadow work, and hopefully it will help you guys. And then I will kick it back to you, Yana. So for me, the thing that I want people to take from this is that you're worthy. It doesn't matter where you come from, what it looks like, what happened. You are intrinsically worthy. You don't have to earn that or work for it. And I believe that if you can remember that, that empowers you to remember how powerful your true voice is, how powerful you are. Because we as coaches, healers, experts, we come from the outside and we co-create with you. But you're the one that does the work. You're the one that heals yourself. You are the one that harnesses your power. We simply support you in remembering, right, how amazing you are. When I got that in the middle of my pain and in the middle of my journey, everything changed. And so that's one of the things I am sure to remind every single person about. And I want you all to take that away from here. You are the rock star. You are the star of this show. We simply help you to remember that, to reflect that, and to own that. And so if you do that, then shadow work doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be painful all the time, like those scenes from the Poltergeist and all of that kind of stuff, right? It can be full of beautiful, powerful, amazing moments. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all picking that up? Y'all smell what I'm cooking, like The Rock used to say. So I am now going to kick it to Yana. And what is the one thing that you want to make sure that we all take from this?
You know, back to my lifelong goal of making this work as popular as Coca-Cola and as available as Coca-Cola. One thing that happens when we drink a Coca-Cola, and trust me, I love me some Coke, so I'm not trying to, but it's immediate satisfaction. It's good for that meal. It's fantastic for that moment, sure. But a day later, am I raving over the benefits that that Coke brought to my life? And if anything, if we really look at it, too much Coca-Cola is going to be detrimental effects for that immediate gratification satisfaction in the short term. When it comes to shadow work, and I kind of want to bring this along with a story, because I think we've all experienced some form of this, whether it be, we're talking about love and relationships. So whether it's a romantic partnership, or whether it's a mother-daughter exchange, or a father-son, or whatever it may be, if the sister, whatever, like think of a friend that you really love. Obviously, we're all human beings. And every once in a while, our shadow, right, the stuff that we don't want comes up, and we project that on the other person. And it ends up being a little bit of a squabble. But when that relationship is based on the commitment of, hey, we're mom and daughter, we're here, we're going to figure this out, or marriage, we're going to work through this. Let's really get into this, right? It's not like our right left divide in politics like we see nowadays, but it's one of those places where we are going to sit and we're going to work through this. There's often this thing that happens, and it happens for us so naturally, that after the thing is resolved, where before there was this distance and this othering and this pushing away, somehow both parties come to the table, and there's almost, doesn't have to be said, but it's like both parties are like, whoa, I feel like I love you even more than I did before. I feel like I understand you. We've been even more intimate with each other, right? There's a deeper holistic experience. What happens when we do that shadow work is we really energetically, I wish we could see it with our bare eyes, but I believe what truly is happening is that energy is literally transmuted from the otherness that was keeping us stuck, that was keeping us away. And even though it might not be as satisfying as a Coca-Cola to sit down with your mom or your partner to really get into it, but work through it based with that commitment, I can tell you that on the other side, you have literally taken that dark place, that shadow place, and created a deeper level of intimacy and satisfaction and joy and pleasure. And the long-term effects of this work are so much more profound. You will feel so much more in love, not only with yourself, but with the people around you, with the world around you, with the opportunities around you, with the finances around you. And it lasts forever. It can't be taken away from you like a Coca-Cola. It does not disappear. It integrates into your being and it stays here forever. And so on that note, my name is Yana Dashevsky. You can find me on the social, Facebook, Instagram, Yana Dashevsky, or yanadashevskycoaching.com. And on there, I have a 6-week coaching program. It comes with 1 year of life or 1 year of group coaching. So anyone that's in the program, we meet once a week on Sunday. So you always have support. And then it comes with a little bit of just a kind of a taste of what we do as one-on-one coaching, pre-recorded videos, but it really takes you from gaining awareness to getting into the emotions. That's about week 3 to really, how do we set goals and move forward? And it's only $250 because I think shadow work should be available to everyone in the world, a little taste and a support system that lasts for you for a year, not just like a Tony Robbins. That was the big thing for me. I'm like, yes, Tony Robbins got me in the door with a $250 ticket. But it was a weekend and then it's a fire and it's gone. I want to really deliver that price point, but for something that you can really come back to and keep revisiting and redoing and reintegrating. So that's me. Come find me. I would love to meet some new souls watching this. And I'm just so grateful for this panel, this work. Aditi, what you've created is incredible, and so much success to you on your book and everything that you're doing with your speaking. Really, really grateful to be a part of this panel. So thank you.
I will jump back in because I did forget to tell you guys how to connect with me, and then I'm going to kick it to you, Jamad. So I am Jasmine, also known as the Healing One, owner of I Am Healing One LLC. You can find us all the time at www.iamhealingone.org. On social media, just type in @IamHealingOne, and we have an amazing free virtual womb healing retreat coming up for men and women next month, the 18th through the 24th. And I say men and women because men need to be just as involved in these conversations as we do. So join us. You can register for that at thepowerofwombhealing.com. I hope to see your face in the place. I love you guys. And I'm going to kick it to you, Jamad. Tell us who you are, what you're leaving with them, and how to get your offer, man.
Okay, so one thing that I really want to leave y'all with is this idea, like to not have a negative idea of the shadow, because the shadow is you, it's all of you, it's all of it, it is you. So it's one of those things that when you think of the shadow, think of like darkness. Like when you think of the darkness, we hide shit in the dark. We feel like the dark can protect us a little bit because, you know, you can get by if it's in the dark, right? Because can't nobody say, "Ooh, I see you," you know? So it's one of those things that when you're constantly hiding so much in the dark, you know, it starts to kind of overflow a little bit. It's because you're gonna bump into it at some point. It's there. It's not missing. So I feel like the shadow work helps you uncover those things you've been hiding in the dark a long time, you know? But also when you think about darkness, don't, you know, think of it as like a hiding thing. You're just trying to protect yourself, right? It's like, I want to hide this because if I share this with people, they may do some shit to me, you know? So it's one of those things that you're really using this shadow to protect yourself. So that's just how powerful it is. Like, it's a powerful protection mechanism, but you want to learn about it so you can use it in the best way. Okay, the most efficient way for you, because it's you, you know, it's still you. So you want to make sure that you're using you for your highest good and your highest, you know, because I'm telling you, it will protect you too. Because there was a time when being a bitch was all I had to do to get my point across. Okay. So, and then that moment, people was like, you know, shadow. But it was like, no, shadow. Okay, go. Don't play with me. But anyway, so I said all that to say, I'm Jamad, your favorite mystic, of course. And if you want to learn more about me, it's at Mystic Jamad, or you can go to themysticjamad.com. Right now, I'm offering what I call soul conscious therapy, and it connects you with the inner teacher, because it's one of those things that right now, especially after this retrograde, I know y'all went through a little hell and high water, but if you still got your car and you still got your feet, you in this race. But you may want to find your way back to alignment. And that's where the soul conscious therapy comes in at, because it's one of those things that sometimes where we're off our little center, or we're not deeply connected with the higher self or the soul, however you consider it, we can get really off track and into a lot of shit. a lot of stuff that we just don't appreciate being in, to be honest. So it's one of those things that we have to like cast that line back to the soul, start pulling our way back up, start getting back in touch with ourselves to kind of get a clear understanding of what the hell is going on, what the hell it is you need to do, and navigate your way through these times. So I'm offering that at $77. That's the lowest it's gonna be till July, probably. And it's almost July now. I'm sorry to say that, but much love to y'all. Talk to you later in the after party.
Ben, what is it that you want to leave them with? And what do you have on the table for them?
Yeah, I think there's been so much said around inner work and and making money and things like that. And ultimately, it's oh yeah, Jamad, put your links up in the chat, my man. So the thing I would like to leave people with is that what we hold back within ourselves. Aditi talked about being a speaker. I've now coached 87 TEDx and TED speakers, with views over 14 plus million. And what we don't share, what we don't want to reveal, what we hold back with inside, Jamad said it like we keep it in the darkness. We limit in our audience. We limit them experiencing, them embracing. And so that divide often can create a yearning. So it's like a Coke, right, Yana? It's like you go to a Tony Robbins event. I know Tony, but you go to an event where it's short-lived. It's like a Coke. I got some motivation, and then I come out on Monday, and what do I do? Where do I start? What do I really move forward in my life? So for me, it's about identifying where your edge is. Where won't you go beyond? When you're quiet about it, in terms of what are you like, oh, I don't want to say that. I don't want to speak what I really feel. I don't want to say what I feel is unique about me, because who am I? If I put my head up like that before, somebody would want to chop it down when I was younger, things like that, right? And so by understanding those edges, we can move beyond the edge. And I find that every speaker I work with, there's things that they keep trying to say that I need to be like, stop saying that stuff. The same story, the same, prefacing, or like, oh, this is why what I do, and this is why it's cost this much, and all that kind of stuff. And there's stuff that they're not saying that the audience craves to hear. And like, well, I can't say that. People don't really care about that. We're like, no, that's exactly what they want to hear, because they want to connect with you. And I say it like this. In society, people ask the question, what do you do? But we crave to know who you are. So my program, you can find me a lot of different stuff. A lot of things I do are deeper and high end. I do have an entry program called the Message Makeover. It's a monthly program where we go in and we hear you say your message. We do a makeover. Oftentimes we find the shadow or aspects of what we're holding back because of how someone did it, how they presented it on camera, what they said, you can really trust me. Wait, where are you going when you saying I can trust you? Why is the physicality as well as the emotionality, as well as the mental words that we put together coming out in a certain way that's causing a disconnect with the audience? So if that's something, I can type that in the chat box, actually. That's something if you want to connect with me about. It's pretty much my entry program. But I run a recurring revenue retreat, which is where we come together, hold your hand. We get into the tech stuff. As you can see, I kind of like my tech stuff. And we also will go through pricing it, strategizing the hook, how you put it together so that other people can get your gifts, which are probably partly through your wounds and your healing that you've gone through. That's me. My name is Ben Patois. You can find me at Ben Patois on all of the socials. But I just got one more thing to do for all of us. Aditi or Jasmine?
Thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I almost don't want it to be over, but this is the third day, but there will be more self-care summits. Before I give my wrapping close-up statement to you guys, I want to remind you, if you want to get these recordings and if you want to be signed up for all future self-care summits and be in the know, make sure to sign up at adithicreative.com/summit. You will always get notified of any new live summits that are happening. You only have to register once and you get complimentary access to it. And then you want to make sure to pre-order my new book, The Self-Care Habit, because there's only a few days left where I'm going to be giving you a gift, which is the Self-Care Starter Kit, which is going to allow you to jumpstart into your journey. If you don't know how to start, where to start, what to do, a lot of people like to have a ABC 1, 2, 3 guide. That's exactly what that's going to be and really help you kickstart that journey. So again, adithicreative.com/book launch. Only a few days left. So make sure you go do it today. So many people have told me, I'm going to do it by Friday. My phone doesn't have a credit card autofill, all the things. So just take 2 minutes out, go pre-order your book, because remember, I'm going to be publishing each and every one of your names in my book as a special thanks, because this is my first ever official published book. I've been wanting to write a book for the last 10 years. And this year I decided it's happening. So thank you guys for your support. And thank you for bringing this information to more people in the world. So many people are suffering. So many people are stressed out. My cousin died on my birthday last year. And you know what I realized? We don't know when our time is. Like literally, we don't know when our time is. So did you live your last 24 hours like you would your last day on earth? Most people, when I ask them this question, when I do my talks, they look at their last 24 hours. No, they didn't. They were stressed out about something. They were worried about something they couldn't control. They were worried about the past, worried about the future. What if that was your last day, right? How do you want to spend it? So that's really what my mission is with the self-care habit, to change our transform our relationship with stress so it doesn't take over our lives and we can really take back the power and live the lives we truly want to live rather than what the world around us is telling us to do. So pre-order your copy at adithicreative.com/book launch. And the closing message that I want to share with you guys, and remember, afterwards, we're having an after party, so don't leave if you're on the Zoom link. And if you want the Zoom link, adithicreative.com/summit, and you'll get the link. My wrapping statement is that the universe is abundant. Don't forget that. The universe is full of opportunities. So if you're feeling stuck, you're feeling like, man, why did that person get that thing and I didn't get mine? Remember Rumi's quote. You are the universe in ecstatic motion, which means you, as your own universe, has millions of opportunities within it waiting for you. But if you don't believe you're worthy of it, if you're not willing to receive it or bring it in, you're not going to be able to reap those opportunities. So your opportunities are there. So don't think the universe forgot about you, because it didn't. Your opportunities are in your universe. So let yourself remember, how can I receive today? How can I open myself to receive? And one simple way, one simple tip to do this is when someone offers you to help you with something, instead of saying, no, 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 I got it, allow yourself to receive that help. It's going to open up your heart and open yourself up to receiving. And it's going to tell the universe that you are ready for those opportunities. And if you don't feel ready when it comes, that's your opportunity again to open yourself up, to tell yourself that I am ready and all the resources will be provided to me. I didn't think I was ready to do a talk for a $1 billion company at all. I thought I needed 3 years experience before I would get there. But everything I needed was provided to me. All the resources, all the tools, even the support system when I was like throwing up the night before, everything was provided to me. So remember, you are not forgotten about. Your opportunities are there and waiting for you. Open yourself up to the love, the money, and opportunities that are here for you. Thank you guys so much for joining the Self Care Summit. Many more to come. Thank you to Ben for the special sound effects. Thank you to Jasmine for moderating. Thank you to Jamad for moderating. Thank you to all the people who are here on the panel, Yana, Shweta, Lauren, everybody who spoke these last 3 days. This has been so fun.
Kim.
I feel like we had a little party and I'm going to miss it a little bit, but we'll connect on the social channels. So make sure to get everybody's contact information in the chat, and I'll also share it with you guys over email. I'll see you guys next time. Happy self-caring. Bye.